Turn this way a little. What we're gonna scoot back. What we're gonna do instead is we're gonna switch to a belly down arm lock. So let's say I isolate the arm the same way we just talked about. Okay, I'm walking it up. Now from here, I post in my head and I get my foot across. And I'm trying to get around his arm, but he's doing a good job of not letting me get my foot above the bicep. So what I'm going to switch to is I'm going to start to walk out. And as I walk outward, you'll see my elbow starts popping free. I push his face down and I'm going to cut up and over the top here. Okay? And I like this position because once I'm here, I can reach through, grabbing my own shoulder, reinforcing and hugging his arm inward into that belly down arm lock. Okay? So it's a good transition into that attack. Now, just to talk about the mechanics of how to finish that belly down arm lock, what you're doing is you're trapping his wrist. You're trapping his wrist against your skull and your collarbone. So I'm holding it like I would hold a phone. Okay, I'm pinching tight. He shouldn't be able to pronate or supinate his wrist well. If I'm here, he's going to give me a strong defense. So I'm here and here. Okay. As I come around, my elbow is lining up right above his elbow, grabbing my own collarbone. Now, I see a lot of this and things like that, and that's not necessarily wrong, but I want to engage both of my lats. So when I reach across here, I'm going to grab my tricep with my wrist over the tip of my elbow. So when I pull, I'm not just pulling through my right elbow, but I'm actually pulling and reinforcing the pounds per square inch through my left elbow as well. So the hug should be more like wrist over the tip of the elbow. So when I pull with my lats, both lats are engaging on both sides, and I should get a nice, strong, tight braking mechanic. So I went for the mounted triangle. I failed. Instead of cutting around, I cut across. Knees on the floor, and I'm hugging the arm inward. This is just a belly down arm lock. It's an easy technique, and it has also some nice follow-ups, which I'm going to kind of incorporate a Choi bar as well. So I start the technique. I isolate the arm. I walk it up as my first position. Okay, this is my first position. From here, I pummel the foot across, and I'm trying to beat that arm, but he's doing a good job bugging me. So now I'm going to switch directions. I switch out, and I push his face down. I knee cut over. My weight is on my knees. I'm cross-facing him, but I'm not putting weight in his neck. I reach through, doing the mechanic I just showed you, and I'm going to hug everything inward, engaging both of my lats. And that's just a simple transition to a belly down arm lock from a mounted triangle position. So we're going to talk about how this can transition into a Choi bar. Not ideal, but sometimes the guy's defense is to try to push you forward. Maybe you're off balance and it feels like you're going to fall anyway. The key to this entry is using the crossface to set up the next position from the bottom. If he can't face me, then I kind of have an advantage in terms of entering into that next position. Scoot back a little. Sorry, this way. No, it's this way. Okay, so here's what it's going to look like. I isolate the arm. I isolate the arm here. As I move forward, I pummel the foot across, same way. I start trying to pry, I'm having trouble beating the arm. So I switch out and I crossface, okay? That crossface has to stay alive. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean. And as I lean, he's going to start to come up to fight it. This is where the crossface needs to stay alive. This leg is going to pummel right over into that Choi bar position, and then I'm going to start attacking the arm lock from the backside. So sometimes it's a result of falling, and sometimes it's a conscious decision. So again, I get to that position. I head on the mat, pummel my foot. I sweep and cross face and feed the shin. Now, if I were to fall back, I'm actively cross facing him and my heel turns out. I like to grab over the elbow of the other arm so he can't pronate it or rotate it out of the lock. Now, when I throw this leg inside, I'm able to start extending into the arm lock. If he rolls, I'm just staying behind his neck with my foot. I'm hipping out, and I'm throwing the other leg over, and I'm finishing my arm lock.